Alright, welcome to the final vlog. I'm a bit sick, so excuse my voice for that, but let's get right into it. Firstly, what does it mean to measure impact, and what kind of impact does that have on these social ventures? Well, this is a really interesting lecture and shoot I found this semester. We had Caro come in while Cameron was away and take us through her theory of change and how activities lead to outcomes, and I thought that was a really important part about how these large companies can take the everyday activities that they use and really show almost a customer journey map of how that one activity that is promoted through the business goes and how that customer feels throughout the journey, leading to what the ultimate outcome is for the business in the long term, or even the short term through these immediate goals of how is the customer feeling. So that was a really important thing that I can see a lot of companies getting wrong, but also I think it's really valuable if you get it right to understand what impacts the company is having on its customers. That's very important. Secondly, branding and community. This was the next week 10, with Julian. This was also really interesting. I thought he had a really great story about building a community based on what the values are of the company itself, and we used in class examples of companies that we follow on social media and why we do so. And for me it was Forage Supply Co, who is a winery run by Justin Westhoff from the Port Adelaide Football Club, but the social impact of that winery is that they've saved tens of thousands of litres of water from their production process. They've been able to donate more than 2,000 meals to the homeless in Adelaide. They build community gardens, and all the purchases through their shop and through their wine, through their clothes, often goes back into their community as a whole. And although it is for profit, these are some really great social initiatives that company is doing to impact their local community, and through that they've built a real sense of branding and community around those events where local schools, local governments, people interstate that follow the football club are really getting behind this idea, because it's having a really positive impact on those local areas, and those small changes that can help in a really great way, particularly with the homeless community, and teaching young kids where their food really comes from and how it's grown, and great things like that. Looking at lean approaches for social enterprises, these can be often very important, because usually you're not going to be able to have really solid financial backing at the start of a venture, and this was one of the really great criticisms of our group project, was that although a gym with a social side would be a really fantastic idea, it might come with a lot of startup costs, and so it's really important for social ventures to start off with a really light approach. Like maybe one of the suggestions Cameron had was renting out a space just on Saturdays for these group activities to get the ball rolling before you really launch into having and building up a full gym itself. Like finding little ways to cut costs in the early stages that'll help the longevity of the business and also help it to get off the ground. So I think not only for that example, but there's so many others like Kinfolk as well, which wanted to expand but really struggled to get the finances, given that they were a not-for-profit, and reinvested their profits into other charities. So it's important for them to have a really lean startup cost when they progress. I think articulation of value is quite an interesting subject. I think a lot of companies, going back to the theory of change, get this wrong with what they really offer and don't understand why people follow them or why people buy their products. And so I think being able to find out why people like you and your brand, and then being able to communicate that back into the community to really hammer home that point of why you should follow us and why you should join us on our journey to helping this social cause is a really important thing. I think that's something that Kinfolk do really well, is that they know exactly why people come in and join the community. It's to help other people in the community and support a really inclusive environment, and that makes people really happy in there, and so they're really good at articulating that inclusivity and keeping everyone involved. I found this course really interesting. I've really enjoyed all the content. I think I only missed one lecture throughout the whole semester, so that really shows you, but also me, that this was a really great subject full of really interesting topics, really great teaching, and overall I had a really great semester looking at all these good concepts. Many of these are going to be very relevant in future work down the track, being able to apply these lean concepts, and particularly for these topics, the theory of change and the theory of value and impact was something that really resonated with me, and I think that's something you can really take into any work that you do. So overall, thanks for the semester. I've really enjoyed it, and this closes out vlog 3.